Hello, the internet. It is Saturday, the 8th of March, 2025, and welcome back to the channel. Do you guys remember a bunch of weeks ago we did a little live stream looking at a new product, or two new products from Kiloview. These are stream encoders, 4G bonding stream encoders. There was the P3 Mini, and there was the something else. I'm drawing a blank on what the other product was, but that doesn't matter because we were specifically interested in the P3 Mini. And I reached out to Kiloview and they did send me a demo model. I wasn't told this would be a demo version, but I also wasn't told that this is any different to the retail version. So let's assume that it's the exact same thing. And what I want to do on this particular stream is unbox it, show it to you and have a little look at it. I will not be using it at this particular juncture. There is some other setup processes I've got to go through, including the Kiloview Link server. But I have got a video here that will help us for the setup process of that server. I'm wondering if you even need to use the Kiloview server, but we should use it. So I will walk through that video and then think about setting it up. But I won't. What I'm getting at is we won't be using this product on this stream. But what this stream will do is this will get us in the right position for future live streams using the Kiloview P3 Mini. Now, just a heads up, we are on YouTube here. If you want to join us in the chat, this is a YouTube stream. When we are streaming across all the stratospheres, but focusing on the tubes of you at this point. So what is the Kiloview P3 Mini? It is a live bonding streaming encoder, or if you think about it, it's a computer. You know, when you stream from home, you probably use OBS on a laptop or a desktop. That desktop or that laptop machine, that is the stream encoder. Happens to be running software. Typically it's OBS. A lot of people use, I don't know, Wirecast, and there's other ones out there, but you typically find OBS is the software. And so your stream encoder happens to be OBS running on a laptop. If you're out in the field, you're doing an IRL stream, you're not at home, you need to either take your laptop with you so you can ingest all the content, all the cameras, all the mics, and then stream it, or you get a stream encoder, a dedicated hardware device that encodes the stream for you. Typically, these devices bond together different 4G, sometimes 5G, sometimes local Wi-Fi, and today Starlink as well. I've always had a stream encoder for my IRL streams. This is it, the Live-View Solo. This thing has worked exceedingly well over the years. There is nothing wrong with this device. It still works. It still functions. It is a little dated. It's a little old, but it does still work. When I went to New Zealand 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago now, no, holy shit, 4 winters ago. Yeah, 4 winters ago, that is. Crikey. I did hook up with Teradek, and I took over there the Teradek Wave and the Teradek Video Go. And I used those devices. I didn't even bring this with me to New Zealand, and I used those devices without any hiccups. The Video Go was really rad. The Wave is a little too large. It's a big iPad. It's over the top. So what we're going to see here today is essentially this device done better, because this is, like I said, quite old, quite well dated. There has been advancements in tech since this and many of the other products from Live-View Solo have come out. The P3 Mini from Kiloview looks, I'm going to put that away because we no longer need it anymore. This just looks nicer, right? It looks more modern, looks more slick. There is one feature I want to tell you before we even open this that's got me excited. It seems like such a simple feature, and we did talk about it on that preliminary live stream. This device also sends out its own Wi-Fi signal. Now, why might that be important? Well, with the Live-View Solo, you can take multiple inputs of internet, so it can be 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, Starlink, whatever it is, Ethernet, whatever you want. You can ingest that internet into the device, and then it can take all those signals, bonding your server, bonding your connection to a server and getting a great solid stream. That's what this device can do. That's what they all do. But this device also uses that internet that you're giving it to create a hotspot. So therefore you also have internet while you're streaming. Now this might sound a little crazy because of course you're going to need internet to stream. However, those devices, the Kiloview Solos, they take all the internet you give it and only use it to upload. So they're using all, and why do you need a little Wi-Fi? To check the chat, right? To check the chat. As an IRL streamer, you're always going to be checking the chat. Now you might be in a different country where you're using a different SIM and you might not have multiple SIMs on the same device. So you might put your SIM card in here to use the internet, and suddenly then you haven't got any internet on your phone. Are you going to go and buy another SIM just to get the chat? Hell no. Well, with this device, you just turn the Wi-Fi on, creates a hotspot to your phone, you got a chat. That seems like that's the way it should have been on all these devices. I don't know who decided with Kiloview Solo to not enable that feature, but you know, you're putting all this internet into the device. Why can't they just dedicate a small amount of it to a little Wi-Fi hotspot? So look, let's open this little sucker and have a little look at it because I'm keen. It says easy outdoor streaming anytime, anywhere. Kiloview demo P3 Mini. Is this a magic box that requires magic to open it? I don't know. Oh no, just a little simple, no trick, just a simple trick. Okay. Ooh, smells like vomit. Yeah, that doesn't smell good at all. Hey, it's smaller than I thought. Comes in a nice presentable package here. Ooh, it's got a little weight to it. Shit, I am going to get this back out to compare. Actually, they're about the same. Damn, I reckon they're identical. Yeah, I reckon they're identical in weight. One just felt warmer. A warmer? Yeah, that's right. It felt warmer and heavier. I also add here, Yo, Tommy Temper, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Hey, how you going, Tommy? This is not a rental. This is a review unit. So this is actually going to go back to Kiloview. They're not giving this to me. I don't think they are anyway. I wouldn't assume so, but they're also not paying me to do this. So I'm going to tell you I'm going to use it and we're going to see it. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to just give you the rundown of what it does and how it does it. There is a nice little plastic slab there. Okay. So on the outset, yeah, it's a cleaner looking unit. Nice little display there, which the Kiloview Solo does lack. And I have found it quite difficult to spot that display when needed. It's particularly when I'm streaming from Stevan. Wait, no. When I'm IRLing in Govan, Stevan's long gone, and the Kiloview Solo's down beside my driver's seat, and I got to look into it. Sometimes it's very difficult to spot. And now, why would you need to look into it? Usually it's to check that the bit rate is still decent, and you just look over it, and sometimes it's hard to see. So this display is going to be a lot cleaner, a lot nicer. Is it designed to connect to more than one cell carrier? Yes, it is, Tommy. Yes, someone asked that on the last stream that we did, and I clarified that with the Kiloview guys. Even though they weren't doing that, when we watched that live stream that they did from China, they weren't using multiple carriers. But yes, you can certainly, and that's what they're for. They're meant. These devices are meant to combine multiple signals, bonding it so it's a stronger signal and uplinking that to a server, which then I'm assuming, we're going to find out, but I'm assuming that's where you add things like browser sources and overlays and whatnot. So certainly, yeah. And this, to that effect, this device has one USB input on this side, one USB on this side, and it has the Ethernet there. So you can use, I'm personally going to be plugging in on this side will be my Starlink Mini. And on that connection there will be, I hope I've got it here, might be in my van. Wait, it should be down here somewhere. it's not really important, but I've got a couple of different 4G modems, mobile broadband modems that'll go USB style. That's got a battery in it. Felt heavier than it needs to be. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. However, I also want to try. I feel like Starlink is so good, as we just discovered on that road trip to Uluru. Starlink is pretty slick. I don't even know if we're going to need to bond signals anymore. I mean, sure, back in the only 4G days, yeah, you need to bond as many of those together as you possibly can. But with Starlink, I don't know if we're going to need to. Now, what else is in the box here? Oh, here's some antennas, of course. Oh, they'll be in here, I guess. There is a manual here. What is this? A battery back? I guess this is the back door for the batteries. Something like that. If you want to... I'm assuming that goes on, and maybe there's a gap there and you can add different power supplies in there or something. I don't know. I mean, it has got its own internal battery. I think you get 3.5 hours usage from the internal, and then you can charge it via the Type-C, I believe. Yeah, there's a Type-C port just there. Now, that might be confusing. That's not a mobile broadband ingest. That's just a power PD, a Type-C PD delivery. There is SDI, which if you wanted to use that, right next to it is HDMI. So I'll be using the HDMI. That's the input from my camera. So camera plugs in here. What else is on here? There looks like an on-off switch. Oh, there's an SD. An SD slot here. You've got a little SD slot there and a record button. You can just start recording, and therefore you get you make a record. And by the way, I don't agree with this, but people do it. You press the record, and therefore you're getting a local recording of your stream. But the thing is, you're getting it's kind of phony that the way that these devices have that. It's a bit fake because you're not getting a recording of the stream as the public saw it. You're getting a recording of the camera straight into the device. It hasn't even gone over the internet yet. So you're missing out on overlays, alerts. You're missing out on chat scrolls or whatever it is that you've got on your stream. And you're also getting the direct. You might as well just hit record on your camera, right? Most cameras have an SD slot. You might as well just hit record there. Having it here on device just seems like it's going to chew through battery unnecessarily. That's my take on it. There's a box in here called a switching adapter. Switching adapter. Not too sure what that's all about. Let's see. I guess this is different power cable. Yeah, so this is your... Oh, okay. So, oh wow, it's got a... Okay. That's a barrel jack for power. Okay, I thought that was... And by the way, the switching adapter, this is Australia, so we get the funny mouse ears. And I guess that's what that meant. That's a switching adapter, just gives you the Australian version. But I thought that powered over PD. Interesting. And also, as I look at that even closer, I'm completely and utterly famously, I'm completely 100% incorrect. That is not a SD slot. Even with these glasses on, I read that as SD. It actually is a SIM slot. So each one of these antennas has a SIM slot next to it for the SIM cards. And I should have been able to see that because it does actually have the graphic of the little SIM card. So where is the slot for recording then? Maybe this device doesn't record on device. Maybe the other one does. Maybe I got it all wrong. Okay. But next to it, next to the Type-C PD delivery is the barrel jack. So that's your charging port. Bingo, bango. I guess you can charge from either mainses or a power bank with USB Type-C. But yeah, that's interesting. The only antenna here without a SIM slot next to it is this guy. This antenna on this side does not have a SIM slot. These two have SIM slots, and this one has a SIM slot next to it. So there you go. I don't know. I'm not sure, but we'll learn. We'll learn. So we don't need that. Now let's take a look at the antennas. Tommy Temper, so a typical IRL would be a Sony cam input, Wi-Fi to your cell phone for the chat, SIM card to carrier and or Starlink. How do you do overlays? That you're exactly correct. That's exactly how it works. And to do the overlays, I'm assuming we go. Barrel jack. Hey, so that's your charging port. Oh, I got something playing in the background. Just give me a second. I had my stream on up there. Why did that default to being on? Oh, that's Kick. My bad. So yeah, I'd assume at that point we're going to learn about the Kiloview free. This is a free server. This is a video explaining it, but they do have a ingest server, and it's completely free. That in itself is shit, right? That is amazing. To provide the so you buy all the sims and stuff, and then you upload you uplink your stream to an ingest. You can decide to go straight from the device to YouTube if you want, or you go through their server, which is free, and I'm gonna assume that's where you add all the overlays and browser plugins and stuff. But having that service as free, wow! And I've said this before, and I don't know if they're gonna do this, but that server, if it gives you bitrate failsafe, and and you're an IRL streamer, you know what that means. If that allows you to lose all connection, and suddenly up comes an overlay and it says, hey, someone stole all my 4G, I'll be right back, don't go anywhere. It comes up with a stationary image. That in itself is an absolute game changer. The way they could do that is quite simple. If you just set up, I'm not a coder, right? But if you just set up some simple script that says, if this server starts receiving less than a meg of data, we'll assume that the connection's disabled. So as soon as we see the bit rate drop below a meg, we're going to say you lost your connection, and we're going to throw up this overlay. And as soon as the incoming signal goes back over a meg, we're going to assume that you've got your connection back. So we'll cut back off that. That's the simplest way to do it. Now, why is that important? Well, that's extremely important because otherwise, the YouTube, particularly YouTube, will stop the stream after X amount of time and start a new one. And so suddenly you got all your crew that are watching on one stream. You might have, if you're like me, you might have 4 people watching, and then all of a sudden the new stream starts and they don't know where it is because they're still waiting on the old stream. So it's literally a new URL. YouTube, I've got to say, there's a few things at play here because YouTube does give you a small window of time. There's I think it's about a 9-second. That's a rather large window. I think it gives you about 9 seconds to sort of, it comes up on your studio and it says, because I've noticed it when I end my stream and my YouTube studio is visible, I see it says we're not receiving a signal. If you don't start sending the signal again, we're going to end the stream. And I think it's about 9 seconds. I know that Twitch does it. I know that I'm going to say DLive used to do it. I don't know. Yo, Charles over on Kick. How you doing? This is definitely a YouTube stream. Yeah, I did put that up the top there as well. It's a YouTube stream. So here are the antennas, and these are just your regulation screw-in style antennae. Gives it a bit more further reach. Now, this is obviously for... Oh, this is sick. Oh, wow. This is so sick because this means if you don't want to use your mobile broadband routers, such as this guy, you don't need to even have this with you. You just take the SIM card out, pop it in here, and you use their antennas. You use their antenna setup. And you don't have to have any other devices. So no more battery potentially running out, You can configure that how you will. And I'm assuming one of these, oh, you know what, that's of course. Okay, so that is labeled. Huh, I did that. Wow, that was a fluke. I did that correctly because one of these is blue. That was a fluke. I didn't even look, I just screwed it in. That one there, that's blue. Coincides with the blue ring there, and that's why that one hasn't got an SD slot, a SIM slot, my bad, because that's the Wi-Fi. So if you don't have to screw these ones in. You can choose to do it differently. If you don't want this setup, you don't have to put these in. Tommy, I've seen that on big streamers, the default low bitrate screen, and it holds the stream until bitrate improves. Nice. Yeah, so that feature, I don't think the Kiloview server has that, but I'm certainly championing. I'm at the forefront of the person. I think I'm the only person saying you need that. Beamstream.gg was talking about doing that as well. Beamstream actually, if you like, is a server. It's like a restream. It's the same kind of thing. Beamstream.gg. I'm there right now streaming this through all the different platforms. If they implemented that at their end, well, that would be rad too. But there's been talk of it, but instead they're going to work on viewers being able to change the layout of your stream. I don't know why, but that's what they're focusing on. So yeah, I was going to say, so if you don't want to plug in any of these, at bare minimum, you'll need this one in because that will be your Wi-Fi output. So if you want a Wi-Fi for the chat, you'll need that one plugged in. But if you don't want those ones in because maybe it's going to take up too much space in your streaming big pick or whatever it is, you don't actually need it because you can just use your existing mobile broadbands and just go straight into the USB. But this is the same as the Teradek Video Go. It's better just to put the SIM card straight in the guts and use this only device as the only device. Pretty sick, pretty slick, pretty rad. And that's, by the way, that's what these devices do not have. No SIM slots. The only slots on these are your USB ports to ingest. So that's a big. I probably should have hit that up front. That's a key difference. What else was in this box? There is something here. What is this? It's a little tea plate of sorts. What's that for? I don't know. There's some other things in here. There is some mounting options there. Okay, there's a little screw mount there for something, and that mounts on something on the back there. Okay, so that's how you mount the plate on the back. And that, I'm assuming, is so that you can then mount other devices to it, I guess. I probably won't do that, but that's how that goes on the back there. Just screws in. That's pretty much everything. I'll put that over there, Skins. Yeah, there's nothing else in the box. Shall we just power it up and see what happens? It might even have juice to it. This is me and you at the same time here, folks. I'm going to power it up and see. Wait, there's a little switch there. What's that switch? A little black switch on the side, Skis. It's a button. Okay. I'm just going to turn it on, see what happens. Push in and hold the red button here. I pushed it in. Okay, comes up. Pretty slick. Fan. Okay, fan kicked into life. Ethernet lights lit up. It's going to look for a signal, I guess. Nothing else lit up. This is obviously not going to do anything because I'm just turning it on for the first time, but just to see. Okay, so the fan stopped. So the fan power's on up front. I guess it's searching for. It's probably not going to do anything because it's searching for a signal. I could have plugged in my Ethernet. Oh, it's going to ask me for something here, I guess. Welcome, P3 Mini. Oh, swipe right to unlock. No shit, dude. That's sweet. Swipe right to unlock. Now, where have we seen that before? It says, welcome, P3 Mini 4G bonding encoder. Please select your language. I might as well walk through this, right? English, next step. Here's an end user license agreement, bar bling blong blang. I just read that really, really quickly. I'm a super fast reader. Look, got all the way to the bottom. And I've read these before. It says, I have read and agree. Yeah. Okay, now it says the SIMs are disconnected, the Wi-Fi is disconnected, and so configure your network. So I might not do this. I'll skip that step. Thank you for choosing the P3 Mini 4G bonding encoder. The current device is enabled for the first time. Users can use a browser to visit web UI in the same local area network or connect to a hotspot in the same LAN as the device. Then scan the code to enter the web UI and complete the system parameter configuration. And it has a QR code there as well. Very cool device, Tommy. Dislike streaming with a cell phone. Don't even know how good or bad the bitrate is. On a cell phone, you've just got no idea. You just go for gold, right? So what I'm going to do here, it says configuration completed. So I just said, I basically lied and said I'd configured it, which I haven't. Can we turn the lights off here? You might see that better. I don't know if that makes it any, I mean, it's kind of the same, isn't it? So it's got 4 options here. It's asking for a source. It's got bonding, it's got settings, and it's got advanced. It's defaulting to 1080p stream at 30 frames a second, and it's defaulting to 20 kilobits per second. I don't know how it's got a reading of that. It's fluctuating between 16, 19, and 20 kilobits per second. Where's that coming from? Battery life is at 91%. So, I mean, that's a pretty slick little user interface. What about shutdown? I guess you press the same red button to shut it down. Press and hold, Skins. Just press and hold to that. I thought I heard the fan kick in as it shut down. So what we'll do, we'll keep that aside. Actually, I'll just have a quick look at the quick start guide. There's a warranty card in there as well. I'll keep all that aside. It tells you about the packaging list. Yeah, that is a power bank bracket. So that piece of metal, I guess it's got these little slots that you can attach things into. Power banks on the side, Skis. I probably won't use that. And that other attachment is a cold shoe. Of course it is. It's got a power, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Battery indicator light after the battery is installed. After the battery is installed, I guess it comes pre-installed. Okay, device installation of 4G SIM cards. We might have an issue with that, by the way. What size SIM is in a phone? Are these are micro SIMs, right? I kind of want to take my SIM out of my phone and shove it in there. I mean, I could do that at a pinch. We could do that. We'll probably will do that. Antenna installation. You got to view the device's IP address. Video source checking. Bonding service. So I'll read this to you. Bonding service 7.2. The P3 Mini uses the Kilolink patented multi-link bonding transmission algorithm, which provides exceptional bonding transmission and anti-network jitter capabilities and supports the bonding of 4G cellular, Wi-Fi, and Ethernet. Now, it should be noted that this does not take a 5G signal. So if you have a 5G only modem or a 5G only SIM, which I don't think exists, I don't think your cell phone bumps around between networks. This will not bump to a 5G network. That's what the other device, the P3, right? Yeah, P3 and P3 Mini. The P3 is 4K and 5G. The P3 Mini is not those. It says to achieve bonding transmission with the P3 Mini, a Kilolink Server Pro server and a public IP address is required, and that's the free server. And device registration information must be configured on the server side. So that tells me you can stream from it without bonding. But if you want the feature of bonding, you need to use the Kilolink Server Pro. For details on config and using the Kilolink Server Pro, please refer to the user manual for the Kilolink Server Pro. Before performing aggregation transmission on the device side, you also need to configure the connection parameters between the P3 Mini and the Kilolink Server Pro on the device side. So that's not just in the server. You need to tell the device which server you're linking to, etc., etc., which makes sense. It can't just find it, right? You got to tell it where it is. To configure the connection between the device and Kilolink Server Pro, number 1, click the bonding button on the main interface to enter the device bonding config page. Now, we'll just check what that bonding button is. I'm going to assume it's that black one, number 10. Quick stream switch. No, that's a quick stream switch. Power switch, SIM card slot, 4G SMA interface, 4G SMA, 4G SIM slots. Where is the... Okay, didn't see where that was. Click the bonding button on the main interface. I guess they meant on the touch screen, because the button here is power, and apparently that button is quick stream. So that's to start your stream. Press that in. Enter the server address, server port, authorization code, and other details. Set encryption options if needed, and select the network communication links that need to participate in the bonding communication. Network communication links, so that means which cells you're using, I guess. Click the apply button to config and establish the connection. Okay. After the config is complete, when live streaming to Kiloview Server Pro, please click on the general quick dialog on screen for streaming. Okay. Firmware updates. We need to update already. Kiloview will continue to provide firmware updates and bug fixes for the P3 Mini device. Okay. So with that in mind, that's a brief look at the device. Now let's take a look at this. This is from a channel called Digibox. Kiloview P3 series and easy Kilolink server setup. Now this is a month ago, but it should be still very, very content relevant. Got volume here.
So welcome to our Digibox and Kiloview event. We are looking at the Kiloview P3 bonding encoders. I'm going to just kick off the presentation. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Mark Risby. I'm the MD here at Digibox, and I'm going to be introducing Simone, who's the Senior Technical Specialist here in Europe for Kiloview, in a minute to take you through things in more depth.
Swish.
So we're going to be looking here at two products particularly, but also the market and the general, usage around a couple of products that we have. Here we're highlighting the Kiloview P3 and the P3 Mini bonding encoders. The P3 has been out for a little while. You may have seen it at a few shows. It's the sort of flagship streaming product there, but it's recently been joined by the P3 Mini, which is now available, and we are seeing some really interesting use cases for that as soon as it's come out of the gate. So we're going to be taking you through a few of those. And typically these type of bonding encoders have been used for a while, typically in news applications to start with. By and large, there are a couple of people doing them, usually as part of a larger service agreement that you get into to stream back and replace things like sat trucks, microwave links, and other types of connection. By using cellular communication, by using mobile phone data technology, and by bonding multiple connections together, we're able now to get reliable quality content back from just about anywhere. Initial applications are...
I'll just jump in there and say you have been able to do that for a relatively long amount of time with the LiveView Solo stuff and Teradek and whatnot. But this device is certainly making it a lot more user friendly. Now the P3 might be aimed more at outside broadcasting production warehouses. The P3 Mini, as you can see, it's kind of a small device. It's probably aimed more at your IRL streaming crew like myself. Yeah, that's why this one leapt out at me when we first discovered it. That's why I thought that would be very interesting.
Say often with news, but we are seeing a lot of interest from car racing, for example. We've done several POCs in the UK and in the Middle East already in car racing applications where we're getting some amazing content back. But sports, esports and physical sports, concerts, gigs, healthcare, and enterprise applications now. We're seeing the usage of video in general enterprise has been increasing massively. Not a huge market in the UK, but houses of worship, churches, funeral streaming is also something that's been on the rise. So we now have products that reach a price point that we just didn't have up until now. So to take a look at what we're showing and what it's going to look like, we'll give you a couple of applications of how that'll work. Here we're taking a source. It's usually a camera, but it can be SDI or HDMI in this case. Both of these encoders are designed to be operated by battery, can be freestanding, or we can power them externally, obviously. We're then taking multiple or one or multiple connections, IP connections back to a server. So those connections can either be cellular, 4G, 5G, or they can be Ethernet or Wi-Fi as well. It can actually be one or more of these used at the same time. So the bonding element The idea with bonding is to use multiple connections to either increase the quality and the bandwidth.
He essentially he's giving it the rundown that I did at the beginning. So it's good. It's good to get a full grasp on things, you know,
or to increase the stability and the usability. From here, we're connecting via the internet back to a server, the Kiloview server in this case. We are shipping everything back there, which does the aggregation of those streams and then forwards them to wherever they need to go. Typically, there are two choices. One of them would be to a hardware decoder. So we're literally taking SDI or HDMI out and then taking that into your traditional video distribution system or re-encoding it. Or from there, we can go into other services like Zoom, YouTube, Facebook.
Or if you're like me, that's where you'd go, where my mouse is there, that part of the output would go into beamstream.gg, and Beamstream would then on-send the signal to all of the platforms, much like Restream.io would do as well.
Via services such as RTMP, RTSP, SRT, and NDI. So we can create a very flexible system that can interface with whatever system that you have on the receiving side. So I'm going to do no more talking really until the end here. I want to pass over properly to Simone, and he's the product specialist who looks after this and the applications for Kiloview, based in Europe, who's going to take us through in more detail. Simone.
Hello, thank you everyone to join us. So I will continue with a PowerPoint deck and show you the first P3 Mini. So this is our small little introduction for bonding server encoder application. It's a 4G integrated modem encoder.
We saw all that. We saw the 3 different SIM slots for each antenna. We saw that it's powered by either the power brick or a Type-C USB-C PD delivery. We saw that it's 1080p 60. It's actually set to 30 at the moment, but it does go to 60, which is fantastic. I think 60 frames is probably the go-to for smoothness. 3-inch touchscreen with 3-inch screen.
Powered by USB-C and 12-volt options, of course. It is limited over 1080p 60, both HDMI and SDI, but it's also capable of doing H.264 and H.265. It got a huge 3-inch screen touch control to get everything straight off the box. As Mark said before, we can use this kind of products for sport and racing events, for really on the go, and of course, getting social media right away from the encoder. It's really suitable for remote ENG styles and small events for news gathering.
I just noticed there, just to interject there, I noticed that there is some pretty slick heat dissipation here. This is obviously a vent on both sides, and there's also a vent on the top. So this device will self-regulate its temperature, which is one thing that I was always concerned about with the Kiloview Solo. It seemed like there wasn't a great amount of heat dissipation, even though it has similar setup with vents on the bottom and on the sides. But what I did find was, certainly in my Outback IRL GoVan stream, it seemed to heat up and like the fan would kick in super heavy. I wonder just how much fan noise we're going to see on the P3 Mini if it gets, you know, similar kind of heat going on.
What's indicated, you know, for small production with even more minimal setups.
By being made of metal though, it's already, it feels colder, right? That's plastic, so that just heats up and sort of contains the heat. This just feels like a kind of cooler device.
Where you can use like laptops and get your TriCaster, Mini S or vMix, Wirecast, OBS, you name it. P3 indeed is a bigger brother of the...
We'll just skip over the P3. We're only interested in the Mini here. I wonder how long he stays on the P3 Mini. Because we have... did we see this? I don't think we've seen this actual video. No, we haven't. Just skipping forward there.
In between those two products, basically...
Okay. So we've already made the decision that the P3 Mini is for us. We don't need the P3. We don't need 5G yet. We don't need 4K. I like the idea of the hot swappable battery on the P3 though. Mind you, but in a way, hot swappable battery, this device has its internal battery that you can charge while using. So if you're charging from a power bank, let's say you're charging from a power bank and you deplete this power bank entirely, well, then you can unplug it from the power bank and go and get that charged up, and you can use the internal battery for another 3 hours. So it's almost hot swappable, but not technically, but it is kind of. I've got a few of these, by the way, including, this is the greatest. This device, your Ryobi 12 volt, well, this is 16 volt power pack. Someone on Amazon makes these, goes on top. You now have absolute power source. Hell yeah. So sick. So I got enough power coming out my wazoo here.
It's really suitable for daily usage for news and sports. Everything is basically orchestrated with our Kiloview Server Pro.
Okay, so this is going to be important. We need to learn, we need to listen, we need to learn about this. Unlimited streaming channels, patented Kilolink transmission tech, direct output of NDI HX, interesting, multi-link bonding, easy to deploy and operate, remote control of device, that's important. Centralized firmware management and upgrades, flexible operations. How are they doing this for free? How are they giving you this for free? I mean, I didn't get that wrong, right? This is free. I can't, yeah, what?
This server is really amazing because not only serves as a bonding and debonding server, but as a centralized piece of software that allows you to control every Kiloview product all at once. You can firmware update, you can basically trigger every stream from the same server, and you can control multiple access users and multiple encoders and decoders at the same time.
I wonder if we're going to learn about web browser source plugins and overlays. I don't know if that's a feature. I'm really hoping it is. If it's not, that's kind of going to suck. However, that was never a feature with the Live-View Solos or the Teradek equipment either. So you had to then, so let me just cut off for a second and say, if this server doesn't allow these web plugins and whatnot, that means you have to stream to a web-based, you need to stream to a service that allows an RTMP ingest. It's clunky because now you got another edge. You got another situation where things could mess up. And I was using, and I only recently killed it because it got so expensive, but I was using Go Lightstream. Go Lightstream allows you to send a stream into their ingest via RTMP, and then it gives you basically like an OBS screen, and you can put in your overlays, you can put in your sub counts, you can put in your viewer watching, you can put in your chats, you can do all the same stuff you do with OBS, and then that then sends the signal back out to your ingest. So what would happen is my stream would go from my camera on location into my via HDMI into my Live-View Solo. Live-View Solo would bond it together, send it to this Go Lightstream platform. Go Lightstream would add all the overlays and stuff. Go Lightstream would then send it back out to, in my case, Restream.io. Then Restream.io would send it out to all the platforms. So that's a bit clunky simply because that platform, Go Lightstream, it's like $490 a year for that service. Mind you, that did have the bitrate protection as well. That's how I first got onto it, because of the bitrate protection. That was an old version of their software. Then they changed it to this funky new, easy to use version, and they didn't update the bitrate stuff, and they didn't update the IRL side of it. They only updated the gamer version of it. So I ended up stop using it. So I haven't got a service at the moment. So I'm kind of banking on this being the way to do it, but I don't know if it does, but we're going to learn.
Our server is a multi-platform ready because it's a Docker, is based on Docker container. So you can install that on macOS, Linux, and Windows platform. It's a really easy to deploy due to Docker container technology. As I said, it's multi-platform available. One of the greatest thing is that it's available both on the cloud and on premise. If it actually allows you to do management and multi-format conversion directly into the server itself. And for the first time ever, Kiloview is giving to the customer the possibility to get NDI HX transcoding directly into the cloud or on-premise server. You can remote control every Kiloview product, and you can also have multiple user and user group to different addresses devices from different places in the world.
So that remote control with different IP means that you can have a producer that's not in the same country you are, and they could be the one that controls stream start, stream end kind of thing. It's interesting. I don't think I need that, but
world. As Mark showed before, we got some fewer workflow. Basically, as I said, we can install both on the cloud and on-premise solutions. So within the cellular network, Wi-Fi and Ethernet, we've been able to aggregate all this connection and directly streaming to our favorite platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Zoom, Twitch, you name it, and also decode that through a physical decoder like our D350 or D260, being able to get baseband output right out of our decoding side. We can install that on premise. So basically we can install onto Windows or Linux machine. We can add something like PCI Express baseband cards, SDI or HDMI outputs. So we've been able to run a complete production with just one simple unit hardware that can do just the server and also the video application software switching at the same time. We can also do something hybrid, for example. If we have an on-premise and we are in the studio, we can still use our favorite baseband switcher production like ATEMs, Grass Valley, Ross. Whoever has got this production doesn't have to throw their equipment away. They can still do it in a hybrid format. So that's really a good introduction for our products. You'll be always able to get the flexibility to stay up and tuned to your business. And as I mentioned before, we are the only company now that offering NDI HX transcoding directly into the server. So we can do an IP over IP solution all at once, meaning that basically we can use something like a laptop to run a complete production running vMix, Vector TriCaster, OBS, Wirecast, and also avoiding using a physical decoder.
That's insane, just using NDI. Like, that's game changing, right?
Every Kiloview P3 and P3 Mini will be able to use intercom with our Kiloview Intercom Server Pro. It's basically based on the same Docker technology, so we can install into the same cluster container. We're gonna be able to do party line groups of Kiloview products and also terminals like phones, tablet, or PC at the same time. So our director will be able to talk with our camera operator really easily. You just need a USB headset, and every Kiloview product will be possible to join this Kiloview Intercom Server Pro.
Pretty cool.
On the latest update that really recently came like 1 week ago, we have improved the bonding transmission algorithm, and we added the standalone mode for direct stream up to 4 streams simultaneously. So if you don't want to use the server for bonding technology, you've been always able to just plug the encoder and start streaming right on the go. That support volume adjustment and multi-channel audio input. And there's a network traffic statics that can be always be at your fingertips. But then why do you choose Kiloview over the competition, you might say? Well, Kiloview products really work with all your existing technology, as I mentioned. So you can mix and match different brand manufactured products in an agnostic way. So as long as every product you have support the same codecs we support, you can always merge those products together. And Kiloview software is one-time payment only on some software. And for Kilolink Server Pro, it's even free. So
that's important. There's some software that you may need is a paid software, but the server is free. So I'm really interested to see what that software is that you need to pay for, because I'm, like I said before, I don't think this server enables browser source plugins and whatnot. And so I wonder if they have software that does that, and if it's worth paying for, because like I said, Go Lightstream was charging $490 a year to have that feature. So
there's no monthly subscription or high cost maintenance through time. There's no limitation on terms of cloud or on-premise workflows. So depending on your business application, you will be always able to do everything on the cloud or even do in the studios. And of course, we are expert in NDI technology, more than 12 years, being really side to side with VisorT and NewTek to bring this technology wild in the market. And we got a wide portfolio of both hardware and software device to create an incredible ecosystem to achieve all your business goal. So in terms of the competitor side, you can tell there will be a higher system total price, including encoders and decoders and payment for the server part. Of course, the bonding on many of the competitors requires a proprietary decoder, which is something that really limiting you to choose just one brand at a time. And the cloud server, most of the time, is managed by the vendor with a fewer deployment option and additional maintenance per year cost. While Kiloview definitely gives you the most cost-effective brand in the market right now for bonding streaming and get all the standard protocol output streams. And it's really simple and flexible deployment option. And I will show you that in just a minute. Just some comparison chart in between what it could be like a competitor unit. Of course, you have the cost of the physical unit plus the subscription and the data cost as well. That might be intercom, of course. And as I mentioned before, for the specific product, you might stick with this specific codec. So you need their own brand decoder hardware. And the server cost is made based on
that LRT he's mentioned there is live reliable transmission. That's the Live Solo decode and encode.
Monthly fees and annual subscriptions. So the cost may vary within the usage of the product itself. While something like, for example, a P3 Mini, you have just the physical unit cost plus the SIM cost on top of your business company, and you just host the server, whether on-prem or cloud. So you can really have, for small amounts of money, kind of servering. This is not requiring great performing hardware related cloud server or prem server. And you can use all the standard codec I mentioned before. And of course, we are the only one company getting NDI-HX transcoding in the server. So keep in mind of that. And the server, as I mentioned, is completely free of charge. There's no extra cost whatsoever. So it's really a cost-effective solution. I wanted to show you how easy it is to connect an encoder to the server. So let me show you my browser.
So here we go. I have an encoder here. It is the P3 Mini. This is what I'm going to be doing. I won't do it on stream, but I will be doing it soon.
Here. So you see I got some tabs opening here. So P3 Mini, Kilolink server, and a few other tabs. I want to show you how easy it is to actually build the server first.
What resolution is this on? Are we on full res here? It's on auto.
So as far as it takes, let me show you this one. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. So the process is a completely automatic process. So we just need to copy and paste one line in the terminal. And this is not needed to be some sort of IoT geek. It's really easy. You will see it will take just 20 seconds to make it works. Just press enter a few times. You can decide the web port access. In this case, we're going to use the port 80 and
okay.
Streaming port that will be 50,000. The only thing we're gonna need is our static IP address, whether cloud or on-premise server. So we're gonna put our
public IP address provided by your system for external access. Okay, interesting.
Static IP address, and as you can tell, if we type docker ps, we'll see we are up and running our Kilolink server in just a few seconds. Easy as that. We're gonna put the IP address of our new server, and there we go. We splash to the boot screen of our server. We'll log in with a
that step there, that's hosted at Kiloview, right? That's not your local. You're not running a server off your own. Why did we need to open up an IP address? It's their IP address, right? Not mine. I think I'm a little confused here. This is going to their server. We're not setting up a server on my local hosting. Although when I talked to Kiloview, they said we'll set you up with an Amazon web space. So maybe that's the crack. You get access to the server for free, but you need to host it somewhere. More than likely.
Password. We're gonna be asked to change the password first. So we're gonna put a new password. Press enter. Oh, look at that. And now we can log in the server. As you can see, there's a CPU usage of our server, the memory, the network traffics, and of course, once we're gonna add it all our devices, we're gonna see in the overview tab. So how easy it is to control our bonding backpack to this. Simply speaking, we go into the All tab, we click on maintenance mode, and we click on add device. In this case, I'm gonna add this P3. This is the web UI of our P3. You can see
that's the web UI. So every device comes with a web UI, so you can punch in the local LAN and bring it up on your device. That's pretty handy.
As the latest update introduced the local streams, so we can create here 4 local streams, or we can use the bonding engine. We got the Kilolink and the bonding engine to activate now. So first thing first, on the top right corner, we just press the I button and copy the serial number of the encoder we're gonna fill in the Kilolink server. So we're gonna give it a name to our encoder. We're gonna paste the serial number, and we're gonna click on authorization code. There's a handy copy button here for our authorization code, and we press OK. So basically speaking, you see it's gray out. Our P3 is just ready to be connected to our server. We go back in the P3 and the Kilolink server. We're gonna type in the IP address of our server. We're gonna put the authorization code, and simply speaking, we're gonna put in on mode the Kilolink server and press OK. If you go back on the server itself, you will see now the encoder is getting online. From this time on, I can click on maintenance mode again, come back on the P3 and activated the bonding engine. So once we activated the bonding engine, all the thick connection here, like my Ethernet, Wi-Fi, all my 3SIM modules, will be part of the bonding engine. So no matter the condition of the networking, you will be able always to stream safely, even if one of your connection will fail.
Nice.
So that's really simple. We go into the Kiloview Server Pro. If we click on the device and we click on the preview, you will see we got this menu here. I will be able to preview our device video ingested signal. We have the device status, the network information, the link status, and we'll be able to check everything directly through here. We have some configuration option like SDI or HDMI inputs, our resolution and bitrate, and so on. So to make a practical example, I will show you how easy it is to create a stream for that. So if we click, just give me a second, I will remove this my camera so you can better see. So if you go into the add stream service, you can see in the protocol tab, we got lots of options. RTMP, RTSP, RTP, HLS, SRT, TS-UDP, and NDI-HX. Easy as that, we can click, for example, RTMP. We're gonna send this to YouTube, okay? So give it a name to YouTube, and the streaming address, we're gonna be back to our YouTube. Sorry about that. We're gonna add live feed streaming. So we go in the live stream tab.
So this is where I'd put in beamstream.gg as my RTMP. But you can go straight to YouTube.
We're gonna copy the URL of YouTube and just the streaming key. So I'm gonna copy the URL, I'm gonna paste it into the server, then the / to divide the URL.
So it doesn't appear that there is any capabilities to add any browser sources or anything. This is just the server. I thought that there'd be this other panel which would say, and here is your output, and if you wanted to add chats and overlays, you do it here. Doesn't look like it.
Stream key. And now we're gonna copy the stream key and paste it and press OK. You see now we have successfully created the RTMP stream to YouTube, and this little red button indicates that we are actually streaming to YouTube. In just a matter of seconds, you see we are ready to go and stream within our P3 to YouTube so easily. This is really convenient. Everything will be managed through the server application. So you don't have to access your encoder from the local web UI anymore, because the encoder will be reachable from the server wherever you are in the world. This is such a easy way to control everything from your streaming side. So if you're a director, for example, you can give this to your camera operator and control everything by the same software application. And as I mentioned, this is a completely free services, so it's an amazing solution. I will want to show you something really cool about the ingest and NDI-HX, which is, as I mentioned, we are the only company doing that. So I will show you the P3 Mini. You can tell it's a really kind of the same server setup, so the same UI setup for that. I've connected this P3 Mini to an on-premise server, as you can look like here. I got some other units connected here. So let me show you how easy it is to get NDI-HX directly into your local production. If I click on my P3 Mini, you see I've created an NDI-HX stream. As far as this, basically this server is on my same local area networks from the computer I'm showing you everything. I just press on the play button, and easy as that, what's happening is that I can bring in, simply speaking, an NDI studio monitor.
There it
click
is.
on my server, you see it has appeared Kilolink, and I can click on P3 Mini. And that's so simple. I'm not even using any physical decoder, but I get the signal right in NDI.
That's the beauty of NDI.
And I will show you this over.
Not that I need it. I don't need that at all, but it is pretty rad.
vMix production.
Do you know where it is? You know where it is coming in handy? Just a simple matter of fact. I want to stream. I want to stream to TikTok while I'm streaming. Like let's just say right now I wanted to stream this stream to TikTok at the same time. Well, in OBS, and this is nothing to do with Kiloview. This is just NDI. But with OBS, you can set up a secondary canvas for a vertical. So you just crop this into a vertical frame, and then with the NDI, which he mentioned, NDI NHX. Where is it? NDI HX camera. It's this app here. It's a paid app. You can send from OBS via NDI into your phone that vertical output, and then you just load up TikTok and choose the NDI source as the camera for TikTok, and therefore TikTok is taking the vertical canvas from OBS and all your overlays and everything into TikTok, and still getting all the TikTok overlays. That's NDI. Just sends it to your camera over IP. Like, so sick.
So as easy as that, I'm gonna click add input. I'm gonna have NDI.
And by the way, this is all wonderful. I don't have any use for this. Well, I mean, I could do all my streaming through this Kiloview server and send it out to TikTok that way as well, but I don't.
I can click directly on Kilolink server, and you see it will be filled within the P3 Mini. So easy as that. I'm ingesting the signal completely free of base.
I think for the sake of this demo, I feel like this gentleman should have put a camera up outside or something. Like it's slightly confusing that the stream he's showing is just ad rolls of the devices. It would have been more compelling and more obvious if he had have just said, okay, I got a camera pointing out the window at the street, so whenever you see that is actually being ingested. This kind of makes it a little bit confusing.
Connection. It's IP over IP. It's really convenient, and it will make you able to basically run this solution even with a laptop kind of technology, really get compact with a P3 Mini and something like, as I said, a laptop, and you can run a production really easily. So this is one of the few great additional you can have with a Kiloview P3 and P3 Mini within Kilolink server. So Mark, I think I will give you back to you within the last parts of our PowerPoint. So you might talk about what's the deal within the SIM IoT cards, I guess.
That's brilliant. That's perfect. Thank you, Simone. That's great. There are actually no questions in the minute as well, so you've obviously done a cracking job there. Yeah, I'm just going to highlight a few things specifically to do with the SIMs and the 4G, 5G side of the cellular.
While he's doing that, I'm going to take my SIM out and just verify that it is the micro. I'm pretty sure
part of it. So the first thing here, as we said, this is a solution where with the Kiloview system, we're able to effectively roll our own package. So you're not restricted to the services offered by the vendor of the hardware or the service, that you have. This is a system where we can use our own SIMs, for example. So where we are, we recognize that a lot of people know their own market. So if you have a data plan already and you have SIMs already in place or services already in place, you can certainly use those in here. The Mini is a 4G only device, and the P3 is available with a choice of 4G or 5G modems. Now, available. You can populate it as you wish. And what that means is you're not tied into a specific data plan. You're not tied into a number of gigs or a number of hours or however it's measured in a period of time. You can just use the data as and when you need it. So first of all, if you want to buy the systems without any SIM options, absolutely you can do that. But we want to let you know that we're working on some plans at the minute here that we'll be able to provide you from the UK directly with the Kiloview products into some SIM packages that are able to use multi-carriers and multi-regions. So basically worldwide capable, all bar a couple of countries, but worldwide capable SIMs that will use the best link that it can find, or the best carrier that it can find at that time in that region. So here we're aiming to give you a higher quality service by using the best that we can find in terms of data, being able to buy these in new packages, enabling you to sort of buy them at a reasonable amount of money. We're not looking at using standard consumer packages here at all. And part of this is so we can...
I'm just searching up where I put my I thought I put it in here. You know the little pin that you got to push in to get out? I've got one hidden somewhere.
Help you with POCs. Part of it is so you can help your customers create systems that are easy to administer and good value for money. So part of that in here is I just wanted to give you for those of you that don't know, just the 5G networks. Not all 5G networks are the same. So basically there are different classes of 5G service and different packages that you can buy, different data providers, service providers, cell carriers, whatever, will give you different levels of service. So there's this generic at the top here, this mobile broadband slice. This is your basic packages that most consumers will be using. And, they're the kind of packages that you'll buy in bulk, for normal people, and they work great for most.
I can't find it, but by the way, there's my other 4G mobile broadband. So I wonder, are these? Dude, that'd be sick if they just screwed straight in there. They don't. No, because don't forget, I got my antennas in my vehicle, and these devices were plugged into those antennas. But this has its own antenna, so I don't need the antennas on GoVan. Is that what I'm hearing? They're already in place though.
Most situations, but quite often they're not right, especially in large areas that are congested. And if you want to use, larger and better quality of service data, where you'll see this moves down into other tiers of service.
I need a paperclip. Oh,
people call them different things. This particular package here, the IoT slice and mission critical slice, and some of these slices are used for people like the police and the fire brigade, the ambulance services or military will use a slice that's dedicated to them. Sometimes customers, broadcasters particularly, have done an agreement with the local cell carrier for a better class of service on dedicated systems effectively. So that is a guaranteed, regionally, usually, guaranteed amount of data in a guaranteed place, usually quite a large cost, but it doesn't matter if there are 300,000 people using all the systems around it, you will be given a slice of spectrum that is...
Sorry, just to cut in there, Mark. I'm going to just see, this is my SIM card out of my iPhone 15 Pro Plus Maxi whatever crap. Pretty certain that should be the go, right? So it goes in one way only. Yep. It's kind of tricky to get it all the way in, to seat it. I've got a tweezer here. I use this to pull out my SD card from my solo shot, but this is going to work to push this in. Why isn't it not clicking in? That didn't click in at all. It's the correct way. It can only go in one way. I'll try SIM card 2. Thought it would just go in and go click. It's not clicking into place at all. There it is. So it does sink in quite far. And you will need a pair of tweezers to get that sucker out as well. Yeah, you definitely won't be doing this too often. I'll just verify that that slot did work as well. Even though I'll only need one of these slots because I'm not going to be doing the bond, yeah, you got to push it in quite far. So I'm only going to use one of these. I did use a secondary 4G service, but I feel like Starlink and one of these, one 4G service, that should be enough these days. Starlink is pretty slick, pretty sick, man. Okay, but that's a relief that that's all good. I'll go back to hearing what Mark had to say.
For you. So that is really key to understand wherever you are, in that hierarchy when you're putting systems together. And what will happen here is the potential here, to spend a lot of time trying to fault find, SIMs and data plans. We're here to help you with that. We're here to help you as Digibox with the POCs to make that easier. I will say we have demo equipment available. And we are quite busy with those right now. But if you speak to your account manager, we'll try and help you out. Also, we're doing some try before you buy packages for people that may be interesting too. So again, please speak to your account manager and we'll hopefully pull together something that works for you. But, these have been an incredibly popular product. The P3 Mini, has come out of the gate really firing on all cylinders. And literally, it seems to be attached to about 5 different racing cars at the minute, giving us some feedback. I've seen some amazing pictures back from Abu Dhabi recently over some of these multi-carrier sims, and they look amazing for in-car use. And that this is our the ability now to put a transmitter inside every car in a race series as opposed to just having 1 or 2, and it looks incredible. There's a question here at the moment. Simone, let's see if I can get you back in here a second. From Frank, is the USB intercom compatible with conference USB mic speaker stations or just headsets? It would be useful if it could be connected to a desk station so remote button can be used to communicate back to base.
So basically speaking, you can use whatever UVC compliant USB product. On the device side, definitely I can get that you need an headset, so you get both hearing from the director and speaking to the director center. But whenever you use the intercom server, and I can show you this, just give me a sec. I'm gonna show you how it looks like. And by the way, as I mentioned, it can be installed, clustered within the same Kilolink Server Pro. So basically the server that handle the bonding can also handle the same intercom platform. So as you can notice, I've got just a web browser. So whatever, for example, your conference system is connected to a computer or a tablet, you will be able to use that device as a main device for the other devices themselves. From the device point of view, I'm guessing as now we only support headsets, but depending on the product itself, it might work. As far as driverless solution, it doesn't require any software. Probably you'll be able to use that too.
Excellent. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. I think there are some more talkback products as well in the Kiloview ecosystem, and it's worth checking out. If you haven't looked at the wild, check out kiloview.com. There are a host of interfaces that fit here within the bonding and streaming world, and particularly the NDI world. There's an awful lot. There's a lot of updates out there for you as well.
I might actually put this on the back here because I just realized that if I'm going to attach this to a backpack, these little legs are going to come in handy for looping, even though you can't really... I kind of wanted it to be a little bit off so I could thread things through the gap, but it seems like it's going to sit flush up to the top to the... Yeah, it's going to sit flush. So, I mean, unless I can feed it underneath this. Yeah, weird. Okay.
So it just leaves me to thank you very much, Simone. Really appreciate your time and being here. And thank you for everybody who's attended. Just another note, if you are going to be at the ISE show, which is in a couple of weeks' time, Kiloview will be there demonstrating the P3 Mini and all of the other products. We would love to see you. So please come by and say hello. Otherwise, have a chat with your account manager. And please remember, we'll be sending a link out to this to forward to colleagues or anyone that couldn't be here. And please contact us if you have any further questions. So thanks again for being here. We really appreciate it. Goodbye.
Oh, there you go. So it didn't answer my question, I guess, in regards to there's still gonna need to be a third-party step that's going to allow me to integrate the chat and different overlays, viewers watching, alerts and goals. That is a shame. That does mean I'm going to have to go back and take a look at this Go Light stream. Native cloud-based live streaming. So this allows you, well, it used to give bitrate protection and whatnot, but now they've updated everything. It doesn't anymore. $12 a month. It's not. I mean, my package was $490 a year. They've changed their packaging, but it doesn't tell you. This doesn't have like what it used to have. Let's just search up Go Light Stream bitrate protection. Somewhere down here it used to say there used to be a tab that popped out. Doesn't have it. They might have even gotten rid of it. They might have got rid of it. Go Light Stream bitrate protection. Stream failsafe. Yeah, they might have got rid of it. What's Skylark Tech? What is failsafe? I mean, there's so. What about other streamers? What about other streamers? Let me. Where's my Brave Trouser browser? Let me bring up the Chat GPT machine. I'm gonna ask the GPT. GPT is rad for this kind of stuff. Let's ask GPT. What are the options for IRL streamers streaming and adding browser source plugin? It's not plugin. Browser sources such as alerts and chats without using OBS. Streamlabs mobile app supports browser source widgets like alerts, chats, and donation goals. Simple setup. Limited customization compared to OBS. Requires a Streamlabs account. Prism Live. Prism Live. Liviaco. What the f? That's Android only. YOLO Box. It's very expensive, plus $1,000. Get out of there. Stream Elements SE Live. Stream Elements Live overlays work like a browser. You can use third-party custom or RTMP solutions. Okay. Video Ninja? What? Old mate does it? Video Ninja does this? We've already got Video Ninja. We're already using Stream. We're using Stream Ninja and Video Ninja. Can be used to add remote browser sources. Okay, the next question. Do any of these provide bitrate protection? In brackets, stream failsafe. Bitrate protection or stream failsafe is crucial for IRL streaming, especially with mobile connections that fluctuate. Here's the options stack up in terms. Best option, YOLO box. It's very expensive though. Prism. No direct stream failsafe, so it doesn't have it. Streamlabs. LiveView Solo, hardware encoder. Teradek Video You Go. Done it. No full failover protection. Prism Live. Adaptive bitrate. YOLO Box. What is YOLO Box Pro? YOLO Box Pro. What is this? Is this that hardware device? It's a switcher, isn't it? Yeah, I've seen these. It's a switcher. It's like an iPad. It's an encoder, switcher, recorder, monitor. Oh God, another one. See, that's what I'm saying. Like all these hardware devices do. They all do things, but they don't all do they don't do all the things. Like this would be so sick if this device just did that at the server end, right? Like I don't want to have another device in the ingest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even going to look at it. What about Go Lightstream? They've taken that feature out. They've taken it out. Okay, let's take a look at Prism. Prism Live Studio. I've seen this logo on a lot of IRL streams, right? Prism. Prism Live Studio is a fantastic way to stream both. Okay, it's got a nice it's not got a nice app to start, right? That's cool. How much is it? Desktop app product. How much is Prism Live? Completely free. Shit. I mean, that price is all right. There are no paid versions. Everything including overlays, alerts, multi-streaming, and adaptive bitrate is included at no cost. Downside, mobile version lacks desktop features. No network bonding, that's okay. Okay. Looks like I'm going to stream to that. At least that's going to give adaptive bitrate, but it won't actually It won't do the failover, right? The failsafe. By the way, I can't seem to attach this to the device. There are holes in it, unless it does go on that way. I wouldn't have thought it went on that way. These holes, when it goes through, that's not big enough. It's got to go on that way. It's weird. I would have thought there's like a little protective ledge there, and I would have thought that goes onto the device. Otherwise, you got metal on metal. It doesn't make sense, and it would go that way. But yet with this, can't seem to get all these screws push in. But it doesn't go far enough down, unless I'm not doing it tight enough. No, it just doesn't go in. This doesn't happen. Either way, I mean, I'll put that on there. See, that goes on easily. And at least that'll give me something to attach to, I guess. Yeah. I think at this particular juncture, I don't think there's anything else I can really inform you about of this device. I want to find out from Kiloview whether the server is local on my IP or if it's at their end. And I think it's local. I think that's why you got to run the terminal and add your IP address. So that's why I think they were talking about providing me with an Amazon web space or a web server to have that up and running. That's if that is the case, then that is a bit of a shame, because that's not really mentioned in their selling, like the sales pitch. It's not like, oh, you've also got to have your own server set up, because I don't want to have to run a server from here if I'm going to be out for 4 weeks on the road running a stream, right? That would be crazy. That's why I'm not using OBS. So I'm going to look into that. But yeah, that's the device. And coming up in the future, we're going to be using it, which also means I'm going to be activating my Starlink Mini. So that's going to be intriguing. Going to start doing more IRL streams. And one that's going to come up pretty soon is going to include some surfboard riding. I'm going to do a surfing stream with an underwater microphone. Yeah, you heard that right. We're going to get out there, and you always wanted me to stream a surf. I thought it would be tedious, but for the whole hour, I'm going to stream one. Oh, then I got a great idea, which I won't tell you about because I want it to be a surprise for when it happens. If it happens sometime soon, it's going to happen. I've got something coming. Benny mentioned it in another stream, but he's building me another surfboard. Benny's shaping me another surfboard, and I'm going to live stream the first time I use it. You didn't hear that here. Shh, shh. Keep it down.